All right, everybody. Apologies for the wait. I just wanted to give a few minutes for everybody to be able to join up. Um, Thank you so much again for joining today's call. This is a Info Pathways and PAX 8 hosted event sponsored by Microsoft. We wanted to kind of invite everybody in just to kind of go over, Microsoft Teams, how to best use the program and some of the, key features of it, since we have that question come up a lot with a lot of our clients. Apologies today. Some of you may not have the ability to ask questions in the Q&A section. If you do have a question on any of the slides or how a feature works, or just best practices on how to implement those features within your organization, please go ahead and email ravenna@infopathways.com. Her email's up on the slide now. If you want to write that down, feel free to email her at any point during this presentation, and we'll get your question answered. All right. So today's agenda, I'm hoping that we're not going to tie up everyone's day too long. I'll try to get through this as fast as possible with answering as many questions as I can. We'll have basically a breakdown of the basic understanding of what Microsoft Teams does, how to use it, how to actually use the app on multiple devices. We'll cover creating and managing your own team, and how to create channels and use some of the features that are within those channels. We'll go over formatting posts, hosting and joining meetings. We'll also go over hosting live events and webinars. And also for a lot of our clients, they have, because of the dispersed work environment that they're working in now, just how to record meetings and events so that you can present that information, that content, to people who may not have been able to attend. Along with that, we'll go over Teams calendars and how to actually create team-specific calendars that will sync up with your Outlook and kind of help you manage over communication internally on what a project is doing. So again, my name is John Mangus. I'm the operations manager here with Info Pathways. I've been with Info Pathways for going on 5 years now. I've been in the tech industry for about 7 years, and currently we have over 45 Microsoft environments that we're managing over on a day-to-day basis. With me is Caroline. Caroline, can you go and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Caroline. I'm from over at PAX 8. I'm an account manager and work on the Microsoft side of things over here. So, and obviously I've taken some Microsoft certifications and just kind of here to support John and Ravenna and all of you.
All right, thank you. Caroline will be answering all your questions through the Q&A portal and also via email as they come up. So please feel free to reach out, ping us if you have any questions or need anything covered in addition. More than happy to assist. All right. Ravenna is going to be sending out a poll to all the attendees. Please, they should be arriving to your email. Unfortunately, the Q&A section is having a little bit of a technical issue today. So go ahead and click on those links, fill out those polls you want. They are anonymous, I believe. That way we can just kind of answer what question, or have a better understanding of where everybody's at with Microsoft Teams. That way we can gear our future training and webinar sessions to something more focused on what the group is actually looking for. All right, so starting off with the basics. Microsoft Teams is available 3 different ways. One is the desktop application. I use it internally with my team here. We talk over our Teams channel and via the chat and use the phone system on a day-to-day basis. Another way that you can access this is just through the web browser. Anybody can join a Teams meeting or participate in a Microsoft Team channel and they don't even need an actual Microsoft license. It's something that an organization can invite that external user to. They can open it up on the web or download Microsoft Teams. It's also available on all mobile devices. You can actually download it directly from the iTunes Store or the Google Play Store. Highly recommend this if you're on the go. It does have access to your file storage, all your Teams, your calendar, and all your chats. And if you use the Microsoft Teams phone system, you can answer phones calls directly from your cell phone. Downloading Teams is fairly simple. When you're actually on the web browser, it just gives you an actual prompt to go ahead and download it. What this will do is it will install the application that will launch automatically when you start your computer. and you just would have to sign in with your Microsoft account. It'll save this data along with all your other Microsoft sync data, like your OneDrive, your SharePoint sites that you may be syncing. It'll sync with everything. So just, yep. So again, a little bit of what Teams does for us internally here. It helps us kind of communicate on projects and our clients that we're managing over on a day-to-day here at Info Pathways. One big thing that it does is it brings one communication point for all of my technicians and us to kind of go over issues, projects that we're working on, and also help us kind of plan out internal projects that we're doing. Each team can actually consist of multiple channels. For instance, here at Info Pathways, we have a general support channel that all our technicians are in, where they can collaborate with each other and talk about customer issues and kind of help each other work through them if a technician doesn't know the best steps to troubleshoot. From there, we actually have sub-channels, which are certain key clients where we can actually talk about client-specific issues or projects that are going on. Within these channels, we actually have file storage. So any documentation that we need to save for these clients or about a project, we can upload to there directly. What's really great also about the Teams channel is if a technician is out for that day and there was an issue that was resolved in the past, the Teams channel is searchable. So they can look up an issue, they can actually type in keywords and find up any communication or documentation that we've uploaded for this within that Teams channel. It gives us the ability to actually help resolve issues kind of in a faster pace. With that open communication, we don't have to worry about who's in the office, who's available at their desk. We can see what's going on at all times. We can put out the question right away. And what that will do is it will notify everybody in the channel like, hey, there's a question. Let me see if I can help out with that. All right. Now, for our second poll, have you ever created a team or channel? I do know that some organizations do not allow basic users to create multiple teams themselves, but it's something that we are going to cover today. Please check with your organization if that's something that is within your policy that users can manage directly, or is there a hierarchy of just management team that is creating those channels? Again, teams are made up of different channels. You can create channels for a few different reasons. They can be public channels, which mean anybody within that team that's been invited can see that channel. These are great for general information channels or project channels where you have multiple users in it. You also have the ability to create a private channel. A private channel is great for management teams, maybe an HR department. What this means is only users in that team that have been added directly to that channel can see it. So other team members might not see that that channel even exists until they're added to that channel. Channels are where meetings, conversation again take place. You can upload files directly to those channels that will add it to the team actual file repository, but it is marked for that channel. So if you have different channels based off of different projects that are going on, if you're a research organization and you have, your divisions conducting 16 different experiments at one time, you can create a channel for each experiment and have that team talking directly about that topic. Channels also can be pinned to your actual Teams bar so that they show up right away at the very top. That way you don't lose them. You can hide channels, you can be removed from channels. Whatever you need to do to kind of manage your own channel structure on your teams, each user has that ability to do themselves. All right. So creating a team. I'm going to go ahead and demo this after this, but I wanted to kind of go over the basics of it. When you create a team, you have two different options. You can either create a team from scratch. This will give you the ability to actually just create any working team. You can name it whatever you want. You can add members to it. You can remove members. You can add different group owners to it. And I'll go over the difference between group owners and members later on in the presentation. But you can also create from an existing group. So let's say you already have a SharePoint site that everybody is working on and you want to convert that to a Microsoft Teams group, you can do that. Or if you have a distribution group that has everybody on the team already emailing in it, you're used to working within that distribution group and you know all those members are the members you want in your team, you can also create that as convert that into a Microsoft Teams group. What that will do then is it will create the channels where you can actually communicate with. It'll convert any SharePoint site files over, apologies. It'll convert any of the file structure in your SharePoint site into the Teams channel. So you can review those files directly from Teams. You don't have to log into SharePoint anymore. And it'll carry over, again, any members that you want to add. It doesn't really matter where you add them after that. You can add members directly to the Teams channel or into the actual SharePoint site. It will add them across platform. All right. Note, all members will receive a notification once they've been added to your team, letting them know. If they go ahead and click accept, it'll take them right to that team site. All right. To start a new conversation, once you're in there, it's simple. Click the new conversation. Again, Teams chats are not like your normal chat feature. Conversations are subject based. So you can reply to a subject all you want, or you can start a new conversation. Highly recommend to replying to the original message that your information is regarding. So it's just not starting multiple conversations. It just makes it easier to find information as you're working through it if you have to use the search feature. All right, so I'm going to go to demo creating a team. I apologize. Give me one second. I got to switch my screen over. All right, so here on my Microsoft Teams, I have quite a few different teams that I'm already in. I've hit a couple of them. We're going to go ahead and hit the create a team button right here at the bottom left. From here, I'm just going to go and create a team. I'm going to go and create it from scratch. I'm going to make it a public team. A public team, or I'm going to go back real fast and explain the difference. Again, a private team is a team that nobody can just join. I have to add them to the team. An actual team owner has to. These are great for finance teams or HR departments, things like that, where you don't want just anybody in your organization being able to join that team. Public team is anybody in your organization can join it. It will actually be something that any member can add another member to that team. It's something that's great for general information. If I have a large project that has a lot of team members on it and they come and go into that team as they need to, it's a great tool for that. An org-wide team is going to be just for a general, everybody in the organization is automatically joining that team. That means if I have a new hire joining on, they're automatically placed in that team. Perfect for like what Info Pathways does for our support desk. As I bring in new techs throughout this year, they'll automatically be joining our actual technician chat team to help them with client issues. But we're going to go ahead and just make a public team right now. So we're just going to call this the demo team. And then I'm going to go ahead and add Ravenna onto my team. I'm going to actually make her an owner. The difference between an owner and a member is an owner can add and remove other team members from my team. So as new people need to be added to this demo team, she can actually manage that over herself. She can actually create channels and delete channels also. If she is a member can actually communicate within the team. They can upload files, they can download files, they can work on things, they can collaborate on documents with each other, but they cannot add or remove other members from that team. So we're going to go and just add her as an owner. So here's my team. Starts out pretty basic. No conversations yet. I have a general channel here. I can start my conversation. And from this actual channel, you can actually reply to my conversation. Ravenna can also reply to that conversation also. I can upload documents in my file repository, or I can search for different apps to add to my team. And we'll go into more details by that, but we have different things like Microsoft Task by Planner, Calendar, OneNote, things like that to help me kind of manage over that. So let me go ahead and switch back over to the PowerPoint. All right, and again, once you actually start creating some channels, I'll go and show that here in a second. You can start pinning those channels to your teams. That way you don't lose them. Great tool is if you have a Microsoft team that has multiple projects going on and you as the user of that channel might not need all of those channels. So if I'm in a department that has 16 different projects going on and there's 16 channels, I might not be part of all of 16 projects. I can pin the projects that are relevant to me, that I want to make sure that I stay on top of. So let me go. All right. So here I'm going to go ahead and create a new channel. That's not what. So I'm adding my new channel. I'll always have my general channel. This is for all our general questions related to the team. This is now my channel that's for my demo one. So if I have a new conversation here, my comment is there. It does not show up in my general channel because that conversation only regards this channel. If I want to pin this, I can actually pin it. That way, no matter where I go, my pin channel shows at the very top of my Microsoft Teams. So I always have it. I could be on a different team altogether. So here's my cyber team, but then I can click on my channel and be right there. So even if my team site is buried within a million different teams that I'm in, I'll be able to find that channel. All right, Teams meetings. I know that, in 2022, most of us have been through a Teams channel meeting, but I just want to give a quick overview of some of the features in Teams meeting that people might not be aware of. Everyone has pretty much used a form of video chat in conferences before, but Teams does include some awesome features. You can screen share like we're doing here today. You can present. You can have file sharing. I can upload files directly to our Teams meeting. What that will do is it makes it so that anybody within that meeting will then have the ability to actually review those files. They can work on them, collaborate with them. This is for internal and external users too. So if I have a meeting that's going on and I have 15 external users and 10 internal users, I can put up content there that everybody in the Teams meeting can actually collaborate on. I also have whiteboarding and meeting notes. These are great tools because these are things that are available to anybody that's within that meeting after the meeting is ended. They can always pull up meeting notes and the whiteboard, so they can always review what was done on the actual call. We can record chats also via the actual record button. What this does is it creates a recording that will be available for any presenter and also attendee of that meeting to review later on. Great tool for also when you're actually going to host a meeting that certain people will not be able to attend. You can actually post a link in your Microsoft Teams channel or via email so that those people can actually review what was done in the meeting. All right. Ravenna's got one more poll to put up. Should be available now. And I'll just give everybody a few minutes to actually fill that one out. All right, to go over this, it is true. You can invite any external user to a Teams meeting. Even if they don't have a Microsoft account, what the Teams meeting will do is it will automatically join the meeting via a web browser. So they don't even need to actually download the Microsoft Teams application. They can actually download it or join via a web browser. This can also be done on any mobile device. Microsoft Teams does work on iPhones and Android phones. And if you have one, still a Microsoft phone. Joining Teams meetings are pretty simple. Usually within the actual meeting invite, there'll be actually a link on the actual meeting invite that says join. If you're within Teams, it does pull up your Outlook calendar. So any meetings that you have accepted via Outlook, you can join via Teams calendar as well. You'll have that join button that you can either just click on or the actual web link. All right, one more poll. Just a quick poll here. Who has hosted a Teams meeting before? Ravenna's going to go and post that in chat. And Caroline, I'm just going to check in because I cannot see the Q&A while I'm presenting. Caroline, was there any questions in the Q&A section so far?
Yes, we have been responding to questions here. I know one of the questions was, can you control who shares out screens, which I think is a great question. And obviously, yes, you can. You'll be able to like request control, but the host of the meeting actually has to accept if you can control the screen share or not.
Perfect. All right. Is there any other questions or?
Got most of them answered here in the Q&A.
All right, perfect. All right. All right, and one last poll. All right, so with the last poll, it looks about 75% of the people that attended have actually hosted their own meetings. So I'm hoping this does give you a little bit of insight on how to actually host your own meeting going forward. Our last poll, I believe, is going to be about live events and webinars. Who here has actually hosted a live event or webinar? Keep in mind, live event and webinars are great for external presentation like we're doing here today, but internally, it is a tool that you can use to record training that you may present to new hires or new team members at a later date. So I just want to put that in people's heads that if you want to record some internal training, this is a great tool to actually use to do that because it will automatically record that training and you can actually present it later on. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going. So let's go over the difference between a live event and a webinar and just basically the meeting. A live event and a webinar, you have the ability to have a Q&A section like we have today. It'll let you do different polls. You can actually do breakout rooms and webinars, things like that. But the number of people that can attend, it vastly changes. So a live event or webinar, you have thousands of participants that can join. These are going to be people that are going to be interacting with you like you're interacting with us today via chat and Q&A. Where a meeting, you can have, I believe, up to 200 people join a meeting. This becomes a little hectic when you have that number of people because everybody will have the ability to talk on a microphone. You'll have to manually go through to mute everybody. And there is that chat feature and, and everything that comes with a normal meeting. So as you're planning out your next event, keep that in mind. Is this something that I want to have necessarily a webinar or live event for training purposes, or is it something that's going to be more of a collaborative kind of presentation, and I need to have multiple people talking at one time. That's going to be how you're going to determine which one of these two features to choose. I'll go over some of the numbers again. I apologize, my numbers were a little off. It looks like a meeting can have up to 1,000 people. I highly do not recommend actually having 1,000 people in a meeting with everybody controlling their own audio. It would get pretty hectic at that point. Where a live event has up to 10,000. All right, so I'll leave this screenshot up here for everybody just to look at and compare. All right, so here is hosting a meeting. Go ahead and share my Teams again. So on my Teams calendar, here you can see I have a pretty hectic calendar. If I want to host a meeting, let's say I want to host one on Friday, instead of hitting a meeting, I'm going to go ahead and hit live event. I can set the date and time. So let's do July 1st at 12 p.m. We're going to go ahead and host my live event. And because I actually have my friends at PAX 8, Carolina are going to go ahead and add them to it. But I'm going to go ahead and add Ravenna. I'm going to go ahead and add some PAX 8. I apologize. I don't have Caroline's email handy right now on my screen. But to add external presenters, you're going to have to make sure this option is connected or selected. That way, you can actually add different people from different organizations if they have to participate and present with you. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and select what type of live event this is. I can select a live event where it's going to be a smaller group of people, where I can actually target a certain group. So if I have a department that I'm doing training for, and maybe I'm an HR manager that wants to go over the new health insurance policies with people, and I want to do it by group sessions. I want them to have Q&A, but I also don't want them necessarily interrupting the conversation. I can actually do it by groups and people. I can then add whatever group I want to it. Within my organization, I can add different users. Org-wide means anybody within my organization can actually join this live event. They are going to have an info pathways or whatever your company's domain Microsoft account sign-in is to join it. Great for internal communication where you don't want public information to be accessed. And then a public live event is anybody can join. It does not require sign-in. It doesn't require sign-up or attendance list or anything like that. Just anybody that I can send this link out to can join my actual live event. From here, I can actually disable my Q&A section. I can actually tell it what different features I want. I want to make sure that, hey, I want the recording basically for my producers and presenters for feedback purposes later, or do I want to make it so that all my attendees can actually review my actual recording also? I can also select what spoken language is going to be in my actual presentation. And I can also add in language captions of different supported languages. So if you have presenters or attendees from other countries and you want to add closed captioning, you can do so. So I'm going to go and schedule my event. And as we see here, this is my meeting invite. I can then copy this link for my attendees. It's going to look like this when I send it out so that people can see when my event is happening. And then you can post this on Constant Contact, or you can post this on Eventbrite like we did, or you can just send it out via email. It really depends on you as an organization, how you want to handle that. From here also, I can also edit my meeting, and it goes back into my options if I need to change any of the information that's on it. If I need to change what the meeting's called, I can go ahead and do that. I can also update the settings if I want to remove the recording or not, and then I can see my meetings right here on my calendar. All right. Any, Caroline, any questions on hosting an event?
Yeah, we just had one. Can we invite an outside account for a webinar hosting from another school? And yes, you can. I'm actually an outside person for this, and I'm able to be a part of the hosting aspect. So yes, absolutely.
Yes, Microsoft's done a great job with actually including people that are not within your organization's Microsoft environment. So, you know, if it's Teams or a webinar or just a basic meeting, you can invite that external person. If you're talking about inviting external users to your Microsoft Teams channels and groups, please check with your IT administrator within your organization. If it's info pathways, you know, feel free to reach out to myself or anybody before doing so to make sure that it's within your company policy to do that for data protection reasons. Right. So let's go over real fast recording a basic meeting. When you record a meeting, again, it's a great tool when you have people that cannot participate, or if you want to save that information so that you can review it later. To begin a Teams recording, once you're in your Microsoft Teams, just click on your 3 or 4 dot drop down, and then it'll have a start recording option. Once that goes live, everybody within your Teams meeting will get a notification that the recording has begun. They will then have the ability to leave the actual meeting if they don't want to be recorded, or stay in it. Unfortunately, there is no way to record a meeting without somebody knowing that you're recording. It is they make it very apparent that the recording has started. From there, the recording can be stopped at any time. So if you're just recording the presentation part of your meeting, but you're not going to record the group conversation or vice versa, you can do so. And if you decide to break up your recordings into different chunks of the meeting, it does create a different video for each section of that recording. It does not combine them. Again, any Teams meeting or call can be recorded for future viewing. It will not capture your whiteboard or your shared notes. Those are only going to be somebody that actually is able to join the meeting from the original invite. So if you're recording a meeting and you want to include those whiteboards or those notes, you're going to have to copy them over and make it those accessible for those members that weren't able to join it. When you're actually recording the meeting, to keep on bandwidth and actual video quality, it does limit the amount of people that are showing on the camera. So even if you're in the presentation mode where you should be able to see everybody within your meeting, the recording will only show the 4 active speakers, the 4 most active speakers, I should say. All right, so storing your recording. your recording is automatically downloaded to your Microsoft environment. You can access it via the Teams app itself, but it will also go into the SharePoint of that team. From there, you can actually move that team to your OneDrive folder. You can host it on Sway or any of the other Microsoft apps to kind of put out. A big thing that I've seen a lot of our clients do is they'll record information basically on projects, stuff like that, and they'll actually host everything on a separate SharePoint site for different team members to review what was done on those meetings. Right. Keep in mind, your team's recordings will expire based off of your data retention policy based in your Microsoft environment. So if you want to make sure that your recordings never expire or they never go out, make sure you talk to your IT administrator to make sure that that data is stored in your Microsoft environment till the end of time. It does take up space, so that is something to be mindful of how many recordings you're keeping on hand. Right. One of the last things I'm going to go ahead and cover today is channel calendars. This is something that was added, I believe, late last year. I don't know why it took Microsoft so long to actually add channel calendars. It's been one of the top requested things that our clients have contacted me for. And we've always had workarounds to it, but now it's very simple to manage. So channel calendars are not just for the team. You can create multiple calendars for any of your channels. This is great for vacation tracking for your overall team. It's also perfect for if you want to schedule project-specific meetings or events, and you want everybody in your team to see what's going on. This will add it to their Outlook calendar as long as they're a member of that channel and that team. But it's a great place just to have one spot to look at everything. So let me go ahead and go over that real fast. So the channel calendar is just an add-on to your channel. By clicking the actual plus widget on your channel, it opens up a number of different widgets that you can add to your channel. And please feel free to reach out if you have questions about the different widgets. Most of them are free, but there are some that are subscription-based for what they do. Internally, we use Planner, we use Poly for a lot of our internal team surveys. We also use the calendar to review like vacations and different projects that I have techs working on. Some of the other great ones is you can add Excel documents, you can add different SharePoint sites. If you use external storage applications like Box, Dropbox, or even Google Drive, you can add those also to your Microsoft Team channel. That way, those external shares are available to the team at all times. So let me go ahead and create a calendar real fast. So we're going to go back down to my demo channel. Right here, we're going to go ahead and create my calendar by creating my channel calendar. I'm going to call this one vacations. So right here, I actually have my channel calendar. It works just like an Outlook calendar. I can add an event. I can say, hey, I need to have a meeting. I'm going to go ahead and add a few people from my team. Go ahead and add Tom and Nick. I can use my scheduling assist to find out when my team is available for a meeting. So that's how I select my time. I'm going to go ahead and send this meeting out. Oh, looks like I have a scheduling conflict with Tom. We'll go ahead and change that to 3 o'clock because Tom's not available at noon. So all three of my team members are available. And right there at 3 p.m. today, I have my meeting scheduled. This will add that calendar invite to them directly. I don't know why I had to have a meeting for my vacation calendar, but also, let's say I have an out of office. As my team members put in their actual vacation dates and everything like that, because they're members of this, I'll start to see those in my actual calendar. So I can actually do my vacation day. Let me go ahead and just add me. Oh, I'm going to be gone all day on the 1st. I'm going to go and put my out of office. So here, everybody will see on that calendar that we have a meeting at 3 o'clock today, and that John is on vacation on July 1st as an all-day event. And again, I can add in multiple team calendars, and I can name them different titles based off of what I need that calendar to be showing. I can actually add it to my general channel. And that's a completely separate calendar. Perfect, again, if you have multiple team or your team's working on multiple projects and you need to do a little project management behind that to show what's going on with scheduling, things like that, you can post that. And one other thing I wanted to show was just a few lists of some of the items that you can add. It's way more than just this. Again, there's a ton of different widgets that you can add onto your Microsoft Teams channels based off of what your project and your team is using and some of the actual tools that you might want to actually look into. If you have any questions about widgets, feel free to reach out. We have not used the majority of them, but there's quite a few ones that we use and we actually have other clients using, and we can kind of go over some of the best practices for those widgets. All right. Are there any questions about the Teams calendar? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move. Caroline, you think it's safe to move on? Any questions coming in?
No, you're good to go.
All right. All right, channel emails. We do have the ability to create channel emails. Unfortunately, you cannot customize what that channel email is. This is a great tool if you have necessarily an external person that needs to communicate with your channel, with your users, but you don't want them to have access to the team site itself. You can actually create an email address. It's automatically created based off of the team name and the channel name. So I cannot necessarily customize that email address. You can provide that to an external person and they can actually email that team directly. The team will then see that email come up via a like a chat request that they can actually respond to internally. You won't be able to actually email the person back, so it's more of a notification tool, but it is there and it is a functionality that a lot of our clients do use, especially when it comes to like ticketing systems or internal requests. Right. So let me go ahead and show that real fast. So to get your channel, all you do is right click on your channel and then you can actually get your email address. So this is the email address. Unfortunately, it is not the most accessible email address ever. So I would send this entire thing to the, what user is going to use it. Or if you have like a CRM program that needs to email, or like a ticketing program, or some type of automation system that's going to be emailing a channel for alerts. We internally use that for our security team. We have security devices that are always scanning environments. They will email the channel immediately if there's something that breaks one of our thresholds and a technician needs to look at it right away. We have it set up that way so that those applications can email our channels directly. They do not actually need to email our support desk, anything like that. It's something that needs to be looked at right away. So we want something that is going to send out an alert and notifications to everybody on the team. All right. And again, if anybody has any questions on how to best use that feature, please feel free to reach out to myself or anybody on the Info Pathways team. We'll be more than happy to walk you through that. If you have any projects where you think that might be a feature that you'll have to use, we can work that out with you and figure out the best way to actually implement being able to email directly to a team. All right, so that concludes today's presentation. I want to thank everybody for joining today. I believe we do have some raffle prizes to go out today. We have some awesome Grubhub gift cards. I think they're $250 value each. I think we have 4 of them that we're going to raffle off today. I want to thank our partners at Pax8 and Microsoft for providing us with those. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any time. Be more than happy to help out or, kind of point you in the right direction if you need some assistance with Microsoft products. Info Pathways does do full managed Microsoft product, which means you can contact us. We'll help you set up administrator and also purchase any licenses that you may need for your organization. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hand this over. I believe Ravenna is pulling up random.org. Bear with us. Ravenna's pulling the attendance list right now, and she's going to actually upload it to random.org, and we're going to pull our winners that way. We do have a few people on the attendance list that did not put in their information because they joined anonymously. If I could get anybody that has joined without their Microsoft account, can you go ahead and put your name and email address in the Q&A section so that Ravenna can copy that over? Currently, right now, we have about 20 people in the raffle, but we have 34 attendants. I want to make sure everybody has a chance to win one of these awesome gift cards. All right, everybody. Again, if you have not posted your name and contact information in our Q&A section, please do so now. Ravenna is starting to pull the attendance log. Unfortunately, there are quite a few people that have posted or joined anonymously. Can't win a gift card if we don't know who to send it to. So please go ahead and feel free to just send us a message real fast of how to get that gift card to you, and just in case you win. All right, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Ravenna so that she can actually pull up her screen. We do have a list of people. It's looking like we have a few people that added their names to it, and she'll go ahead and do the raffle now. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and email those winners after the live event and send out the gift cards. Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. So we have 22 people participating in our raffle today. Technical error. Sorry. There we go. So we're gonna generate we're doing 4 gift cards. 4 random numbers between 1 and 22. Okay. So our first winner is, I'm not going to say this last name right, but Colin Capelluti. We'll send you some more information at the end of the call. Our next winner is number 10, and that'll be Brianna Eddy. All right, congratulations. And then we will have number 4, and that is Brenna Williams. All right, and then our last winner for the raffle today is going to be number 22, and that's Justice Brooks. All right, guys, we will send you out some information by email with the emails you provided for your Eventbrite registrations regarding your gift cards after the call. They're $250 Grubhub gift cards. So I hope everybody's excited. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is just john@infopathways.com. If you have any, questions, more than happy to help out. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day.